When it's time to wrap up, I'll let you know in the chat box, okay?
Okay,
Thank
perfect.
you.
Thank you. Hi, Laurie.
Hi.
How are you?
I am fantastic. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks.
Good. You're welcome.
So can we start?
Of course.
Okay, so could you tell us about the creative process of the album?
Sure. Yeah, my third album is called Sitting Pretty on Top of the World. The creative process was very different for this one. I wrote it during the pandemic. So I wrote a lot of these songs on Zoom, actually. And I would like meet up with the co-writers and we would write like this. So it was definitely different, a challenge I had to overcome, but it was nice. There was something really cool about being in the safety of my home and being vulnerable that I think was actually in a weird way kind of helpful.
Perfect. And you struggle with depression during the production of this album. How it impact your writing process?
The title track is a song called On Top of the World. And I was out for a walk during the pandemic and I got really sad. And then I got sad that I was sad. And then I got mad that I was sad. And I was feeling all of these emotions just like everyone else. And I wrote down hitting rock bottom, sitting on top of the world. And that's where I got the idea for that song. And I felt like that title really represented a lot of the last few years because I professionally have been on top of the world and personally I've been hitting rock bottom. So it was really interesting for me to share both perspectives. And we're all going through this pandemic together. We all have a heightened sense of emotions and that is okay. It's how we work through them that defines us. And so this album is about my healing and trying to get into a more hopeful place. And I'm really proud of it.
And in this album, you worked with composers like Emily Weisband, David Garcia, and Hilary Lindsay, who many of us in the pop culture knows because she works with Lady Gaga with Lady Gaga. So I want to know, how was the experience of writing with them and how it happened?
I was really fortunate to write with some of the best writers in town. Hilary Lindsay specifically is a really good friend of mine and been super influential on my songwriting process. And my favorite song on the album is It Was Me, and I wrote it with just Hilary. And it was such a time of growth and healing for me. And she really helped me showcase that. And Emily Wise and I started writing together when we were like 18 or 19. So we've been writing together for a really long time. And she's a huge part of my songwriting. We learned to write together pretty much. And I can't remember who else you said. What was the other songwriter? David Garcia?
And Emily Weisband.
Yes. So all of those, I was really fortunate to write with some of the best people in town. And I think that enabled me to make a really, really beautiful album.
And you put your heart on this album. It works for you like a healing process during the writing process?
It was. I mean, for me, songwriting is like a form of therapy. It really helps me process my emotions. I think that's really true for a lot of songwriters. And the best thing about being a songwriter and an artist is I write the songs for me. And then when I release them as an artist, they're for everyone else and anyone that needs healing and needs to get through whatever situation they're going through. And so hopefully the world needs some healing right now. It has been a crazy time. And so hopefully this album can really help that and promote that.
Awesome. And do you have a book coming in November, Getting Good at Being You? Could you talk a little bit about it?
Yes, this book is about my journey with learning to love myself. That has been the hardest thing in life for me, it surprises a lot of people because I'm very bubbly and outgoing, but I also struggle with a lot of personal insecurities. So I've had to overcome a lot of that. And I wrote the book about how I became the woman that I am now and my struggles and the things I've been through. And it's a gift book and hopefully can shed a little light for somebody out there who may need it. It's all about healing as well.
And 10 years ago, you was one of the finalists of American Idol. How much life changed after that? And if you could say something for your 16 years old version, what do you would say?
Well, first of all, I would thank her. I'd give her a big hug and say thank you because she dreamed up this dream and now I'm getting to live it. So I'm very thankful to her. And also, I would say, get ready, girlfriend. It's about to go down. But my life completely changed. I lived in a really small town, had about 4,000 people. And now I'm talking to you in a completely different country. So my life has definitely changed.
And do you have plans to come to Brazil in the future?
We are talking about that now. I mean, obviously it's a really hard time for travel, but when that gets a little bit easier, we're making plans to come see you guys.
Awesome. And could you say something for your Brazilian fans who are watching us on Pop Mics, please?
Brazil, hi, it's Lauren Alaina. Thank you for your support. Listen to my new album, Sitting Pretty on Top of the World. Hopefully I can come see you super, super soon. Mwah.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
Thank you. This was great. I really appreciate you.
Thanks. I love this interview. Talking with you.
Oh,
It's
me
awesome.
too. Me too. Thank you. I'll come see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.